Hello everyone, welcome back to IDGAF 1984. My name's Jeff Metric. This is my channel where I talk all things politics, economics, social issues, just whatever I want to talk about. So today's video is going to be called Suck and Blow. The real knowledge of solar power and wind, and why I call it Suck and Blow. Now let's start off with the first thing is, let's start with solar. Solar cells have a shelf life and it's 20 years at the best, but that's in ideal conditions and not in an environment like Arizona where it's desert, sand blows, wind, everything. The steels around them are going to fail. They also do not have a really large recovery. Not all of the energy that gets absorbed by the photovoltaic cells actually gets turned into electricity, gets stored in a battery. That's another thing, is battery systems are not quite there yet. And another thing that happens is once the solar cells are used up or they're no longer usable, they get thrown into trash, even though technically they're considered toxic waste. They're carbon intensive to produce, extracting the elements from the earth, transporting them to their destination. Very carbon intensive. That's why they suck at what they do. They will never be a permanent solution because honestly, solar panels and wind is all about control. Limit the amount of power we have. We need to modernize our grid in this country, and what we need to do is get rid of the state regulatory agencies and link all the grids together, and that'll solve a lot of our problems. But you cannot put enough land area for solar panels to make it effective to where you could charge all these electric cars that these dipshits wanted to have, like the Biden administration or California with Gavin Newsom, who, God, I hope he never gets to become president, because then we're all screwed. But now let's move on to wind. Wind turbines, large amounts of carbon to produce, steel. You need to use electricity to produce steel, most likely comes from coal or natural gas. The transportation of the heavy rig trucks to drive them from the plant to the setup site. Okay, those get maybe 5 miles to the gallon, so they're burning through diesel like you wouldn't believe. Not to mention the petroleum that's used in the lubricants. Then you have the transportation of the crane out to the site to raise the wind turbines. And then you have the maintenance of the wind turbines. And when a wind turbine breaks down or causes damage, it's a pain to replace. It costs a lot of money. And it would never be possible to generate enough wind energy to offset our need for fossil fuels like natural gas and coal. It just won't happen. You can't even lump solar in there. There's only one true solution. Oh, and another thing with wind turbines, they screw up the migratory pattern of birds and kill birds. Brilliant. Love you environmentalists for that, and y'all don't even realize that level of stupidity. Now, I'm not all about saying this is the problem X, Y, and Z. I'm going to give you a solution, and it's a very simple one. It is nuclear power. That is the simplest solution. It is truly carbon neutral because once you build it, it can keep going for as long as you have fuel for it, and you can keep maintenance on it, and it's very low cost maintenance, and it actually, over the long run, actually produces cheaper power than what it costs to make it, because it's not just burnt through and needs to be replaced. It's not that carbon intensive to extract uranium from the ground. You just have to refine it to make it not weapons grade, but fuel grade. Also, it is one of the safest forms of power there is. People cite like, well, Chernobyl happened in 1986 and was a reactor built in the 50s by the Soviets. Not exactly known for their stellar amount of reactor safety, or just safety in general. But moving along. Next one, they'll say, what about 3 Mile Island? Yeah, 3 Mile Island happened and it wasn't that bad. No one died. The largest death event was Chernobyl, and even then, it wasn't that bad. Now they'll say, well, what about Fukushima? Fukushima was not properly built. I'm going to say that right now. You don't build a nuclear reactor on an earthquake zone that doesn't scram immediately. There were other issues into that. But getting back to the nuclear power, there are different reactors we can use. There's thorium liquid salt. There's a molten salt reactor. There's a breeder reactor. You have lots of different reactors you can use, and they all use different types of fuel that we can generate relatively easily. So when you look at it per kilowatt hour generated, nuclear power has been the safest. There have been almost, I don't know what the exact number is, but I just know it's very low compared to solar, wind, all that other stuff, because being up 300 feet in the air, it can get kind of windy up there and you can fall off. Yeah, that's not the best in the world. So the solution, if we want all electric cars, which I don't think is a good idea, but there's not enough resources in the world to do it, so it's about control at the end of the day. But if we want to stabilize our power grid, is we need to go to nuclear power full-heartedly, because when we do that, we can drop the cost, which makes energy cheaper for the consumer. Everybody has more money to spend because they're not tied up in spending it on energy, and we would also be able to get the state regulators out of it to set energy prices. We need a free market solution, and this is a free market solution because we can get rid of a lot of the regulatory burden that stops the building of nuclear reactors, because it would work, it would be efficient, and it's practical. It's practical. That's the biggest thing. So you environmentalists, you Greenpeacers that want to screech at me about nuclear power bad, yeah, your solutions ain't any better. Let's just be real. Till tomorrow, hold on. I'm at 85 subscribers. If you are a subscriber, please share this video and get people to subscribe, because like I said, once I hit 100 subscribers, I'm most likely going to do an AMA, or I'm going to, if I can't do a live AMA with interaction, I'll give out my email address. You can email me your questions and I'll answer all questions, and it'll be about a 30-minute live. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let's get this message out there and realize that IDGAF is the best way to live, because no one has to worry about what other people think of them, because I don't give a fuck. Until tomorrow, have a great day.